Hello, my name is Jamarco and I serve as the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs at the University of Illinois Springfield, where I'm responsible for most of the things related to the student experience for our students that happen outside of the classroom. In my portfolio, oversee about 18 units, including athletics, ranging from counseling services to residence life to food services to recreation services and several others. And so happy to be chatting with you.
All right. My first question is, how has the representation of Black people in Springfield shaped your life and your career? Do you feel like there's enough Black representation in the community and county?
Absolutely. So I should start by sharing that I'm not originally from Springfield, so certainly don't have the insight in terms of how it would have shaped my life. But from a career perspective, this is the start of my third year here at the university, third year here in Springfield, and what I would say overwhelmingly, I've appreciated the representation of African Americans in the community at various levels and various sectors. I think we're certainly um, in a good spot because of the capital. So being the state's capital, that brings a different level of engagement from a lot of different folks, and so it's been great to see the African Americans represented in that space, but also from a business ownership space as well. No, I know several of African Americans who are business owners in the community, so certainly great to see that. And then I think it's a space where very much diverse. You know, I came from the state of Iowa, and not as much diversity simply due to the demographics of the area. But here in Springfield, certainly a greater amount of diversity, and so has certainly been appreciated, and it's been a good experience.
All right. What has your experience been working as the vice chancellor at, in being a Black person?
Yeah, so I think it's been a great experience for me. Obviously, I've worked in a lot of spaces that have been predominantly white, and you know being the minority in those spaces, and that's been just fine. I've had great colleagues of all races from different places, and what it does is just it allows us to really grow and show appreciation for our differences and how you know our upbringings, and so being a black man in this space has been phenomenal. I work with great colleagues across campus who are always providing support. There's wonderful support in the community. I'm engaged in a lot of different ways, and so I really leverage those and also leverage the position because one of the things I recognize is that the agency extended to me from this role. It's not just my own. It's for students who look like me. It's for students who don't look like me, right? And so I really am mindful that I use that to the greatest of my ability to make sure at the end of the day, everything that I do, specifically related to my role, is to make sure my students have the best experience possible. And so I really maximize and lean into that.
What aspects do you focus on when teaching others about Black history?
Yeah, I think in all history, right, but specifically Black history, we're often reminded of how far we've come, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I am always in a space of reflection as it relates to that. Always want to just remember where we come from, but also recognize we've got a lot of spaces to go and grow as well. I think specifically in Springfield, there's a lot of rich Black history here. You know, being the home of the NAACP, I think that is really huge. And so really just playing into that and you know riding the coattail, if you will, of what that type of history means here in a community like this. But overall, right, it's really about just always being in the space of reflection, but then turning that reflection into appreciation and things that we can act on to make sure that you know we're educating everyone on the things that um, have come from you know those that have come before us who were African American leaders in this community.
How did you get your start in your career, and how do you give back to your community while doing the work that you love?
Yeah, I got my start in my career. Went to school, wanted to be a teacher, wanted to teach kindergarten, first grade, and while I was in college, went to college in Iowa. I didn't know that you can work on a college campus, so I was a first generation college student. And as I got to meet people who worked on the college campus, I found myself thinking, I would love to do this kind of work someday. So I kind of stumbled into it, if you will. Got into the work because of the folks who were doing my work, the work that I do now. They were really good at their jobs, and that kept me wanting to be involved and engage with them. And so ultimately, that led to my path. This is the start of year 12 for me in the higher education student affairs profession. And then year 3 for me here at the University of Illinois Springfield in this role. And again, all of that is not possible without, again, reflecting on the past, really understanding, how it became to be, how I had this opportunity. And I credit a lot of it to folks who have just been great mentors, whether black, white, no matter their race. There's been a lot of people who have been really good to me and have allowed my black voice to be big. And so I really appreciate that. And that's really how I focus on giving back. I find ways to mentor those who may think they want to do this work, those who are doing this work, to really show them, what it means, but also find ways just to get involved in the community. I serve in a capacity for the state of Illinois. I'm a commissioner for Serve Illinois, which is the statewide governor-appointed volunteer commission. So that's one way that I give back and give my time to the community that I gain a lot from.
Do you feel that there's anything in Black Springfield that should be reevaluated or revised to be more beneficial while sharing Black stories?
Yeah, I think there's always opportunity, like I said, to reflect, to reevaluate, to really look at how do we make sure we're never becoming stagnant. We don't want to be complacent. How do we all continue to make sure that things improve and get better? So for anything, I think there's an opportunity to do those things, and I think it's good practice to always be assessing and evaluating where we are and where we can go.
Have you faced any prejudice that has impacted your ability to share your stories and those of others?
No, I'm very happy to share that has not been my experience here in Springfield. I've been very fortunate to have had a warm welcoming here, and certainly appreciate that.
Do you have a special family story that you would like to share? How has that story influenced your perspective?
I don't know that I have a special one, but one of the people who've certainly just influenced me, and I attribute a lot of the things that I've been able to accomplish to, is my late grandmother, who passed just last year. She was always a wonderful cheerleader. She grew up in Alabama during segregation and those things, and so really just getting to talk to her about all of the fun stuff that I've gotten to do over the course of my life. Again, it takes me back to that point of reflection, right? Thinking about the stuff that I can do leisurely that she could have dreamt of doing at my age. And so it's great to know that I get to stand on her shoulders as I do all the stuff that I've been called to do in my life.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I think it's great that stories are being amplified and shared, and I think no matter the race, it's really about how do we as a people improve and get better. So.
Thank you for participating in the 2025 Honors in Ashcan project.
No problem. Thank you.